Good evening to each and everyone joined over here. As Steve Jobs, co founder of Apple, once said, design is not what it looks and feels like, design is how it works. With these words, I, Anish Khatu, a second year student of IT department and a member of ECell of KC College of Engineering and Management Studies and Research, warmly welcome you all for this webinar on UI and UX. Before beginning, let me introduce you about the idea of entrepreneurship cell, known as ECell. Is a department which believes in enhancing skill set of our student so that they become self-employable as a first step towards entrepreneurship. ECell helps a student to build connection with startup and with various industrialists in order to get insight of industries and market. So that was all about ECell, and now without any further ado, let us begin with our webinar. Today's webinar is presented by Ms. Srishti Maggo, and public speaker, freelancer, founder of Designly, and designer at Nitto Infotech. She is also a front-end developer and UI UX expert. Now I request Ms. Srishti to begin with the session. So over to you, Srishti.
Yeah, so hello everyone, and firstly, thank you so much, Anish, for the warm welcome. And as Anish mentioned, I am a public speaker, freelancer, and also working as a designer at Nitto Infotech, and also I am a founder of Designly. So, without any due, let's just start with the session. Let me share my screen and just do let me know in the chat box if the screen is visible. Yeah. Is my screen visible? Okay, perfect. I guess let's just start with the session. So, as we all know that today we'll be discussing all about the UX and UI, what actually UX and UI is, and we have actually discussed the terms like UX and UI, but what actually it is and how it plays in a you can say its role in our daily life. So, let me first introduce a bit about me, though I've already introduced. But yeah, so I am a founder of Designly. So Designly is basically a community which I founded, and I have completed say over 100 plus talks in this community, and I helped many beginner designers to start with their career and get internships and many more. But yeah, we'll be talking more about this in the end of the session. Also, I am a self-taught designer, speaker, and freelancer. Let's just discuss the agenda of the talk, like what we actually discussing in this talk, and for what you are here with me today. So today we'll be discussing about the introduction to UX and UI world, what actually UX and UI design is, golden rules of design process, tools for designing which we can use to start, and UI principles, and other than that, future of UX. Introduction, like UX and UI, this both are two different terms. Like UX states for user experience and UI states for user interface. So I'll be giving a quick and a very easy example for this. Taking example of a daily product which we use in our household, or you can say which we use every day on regular basis. That is a bottle of a ketchup sauce. So if we consider a user interface, so there is one like the glass bottle for the ketchup sauce, and other one is the pouch one. Like I guess most of you have saw that, like ketchup sauce comes in two interface. One is the glass bottle and second one is the pouch one. So with the user experience perspective, when a user is using a glass bottle, he has to tap that bottle and then वो सॉस को निकाल पाता है. बट वेन वी कंसिडर द पाउच वन जो स्क्वीजेबल होती है, तो वेन वी कंसिडर द यूजर एक्सपीरियंस पार्ट with a squeezable or a you can say the pouch bottle ketchup sauce, तो उसके साथ everything is very easy, and also a user can actually press that pouch according to their need. So these two is the same product, but the user interface and the user experience is very much different. So this is the basic difference between the user experience and user interface. Like taking example of a sauce which we use on daily basis, and in a beginning level, you should have to understand कि user experience is the experience which user is facing. So with the glass bottle, the user experience is poor because in the end the user is frustrated because he or she has to push that glass bottle and उसके बाद sauce निकल रही है. बट वेन वी कंसिडर द पाउच वन, उसमें क्या है, इट इज़ वेरी इजी टू यूज, कन्वीनियंट टू यूज, वो यूजर फ्रेंडली है. तो इसमें जो एक्सपीरियंस रहा, उसमें यू कैन सी कि जो पाउच के साथ एक्सपीरियंस था दैट इज लाइक वेरी अमेजिंग, बट ग्लास बॉटल के साथ इट इज वेरी पुअर. एंड इंटरफेस इज द स्ट्रक्चर, शेप, साइज ऑफ दैट बॉटल. तो इसमें द ग्लास वन इज लाइक कि जो उसका प्रॉपर स्ट्रक्चर है, like उसके ऊपर proper lid है and proper structure which is made up of glass is its user interface. And similar with the pouch thing, that is made up of like say maybe plastic pouch or another pouch, and उसका जो proper lid है, the squeezable, that is the interface of that. So moving on to the basic definition I'll be explaining. So UX without, okay, so UX and UI, these two are two different terms, but दोनों ही इम्पॉर्टेंट है. ऐसा नहीं है कि अगर यूएक्स और यूएक्स है यूआई नहीं है तो इट विल वर्क, ऐसा नहीं होगा. बिकॉज यूएक्स एंड यूआई बोथ आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एंड इक्वली इंपॉर्टेंट. सो यूएक्स विदाउट यूआई इज लाइक द फ्रेम ऑफ स्कल्पचर with no paper mash on it. Like say if you are building any sculpture and you didn't make a hard or a proper solid paper mash for it, so obviously it's like user experience है but proper उसका interface zero है. So in the end, the whole product gives you like no usage, and it is a totally wastage. Now like on the other hand, UI without UX is like, you can say, a painter slapping paint onto a canvas without any thought. So supposingly, if you are a artist and you don't have any thought कि आपको क्या बनाना है canvas पे, you are just actually painting the canvas ऐसे ही, just like that, without any visual clarity या without any placement of objects कि आपको कहाँ क्या रखना है. So it is like कि मतलब यू आर जस्ट स्लैपिंग द पेंट ऑन टू द कैनवस. उसका यूआई तो है, बट उसका एक्सपीरियंस क्या होगा एक लाइक एक यूजर के लिए? यूजर को समझ ही नहीं आएगा कि आपने क्या ड्रॉ करा है कैनवस पे. तो in short, it is concluded that UX and UI, both the terms are really important for each other. And yeah, moving on to the golden rules of design. And basically we have four rules. And also before that, if you have any questions, we'll be taking questions in the last, because I can't see the comment section. I can only see my presentation, so team can handle the question part and the other doubts if you guys is having. So yeah, moving on to the golden rules of design. So we'll be discussing the four main rules of design, and this is the important rule which you should have to keep in mind while designing anything under the area. So first rule is like, don't make the user think. It clearly says that you have to make so convenient products, or you can say you have to make products with less complexity, ताकि you don't have to make the user think कि इसको दबान like इस बटन को दबाने के बाद मैं कहाँ लैंड होऊंगा, या अगर मैं इस बटन को, इस लिंक को दबाऊंगी, तो where should I land. So that complexity factor should not be there, because I came across many websites where they have actually given a link or a button, but after clicking that, like there is no way to land. So that is a poor experience for a user. Or even you also came across some websites in which you face key, when I was clicking on a specific link, I was landing to nowhere, or maybe you are landing to a specific page where you don't understand ki what the whole process is going on. So don't make the user think too much. Like if you came across any website, don't give them lots and lots of options, so that user has to think a lot. To make the whole design very easy and very convenient for according to the user experience and the user requirements. Next is rule of 8 seconds. So I'll be like telling each and every detail about these rules in the next few slides. But yeah, second is rule of 8 seconds. So 8 seconds as in the user has only 8 seconds in hand, or you can say any viewer or customer, they have only 8 seconds. In 8 seconds, either you can win the show or you can just flop the show. It's up to you. Like being a designer, it's totally in your hands whether you have to win the show or whether you have to lose the show. So yeah, third is visibility of system status. I'll be discussing this by showing you the example, like how you have to make some of the status visible on your system. Like taking example of your laptop, or you can say whenever you switch on your laptop, you see a time, like time, date, and all, and then you see the backdrop of the wallpaper. So that is basically the visibility of system status, like a related to the system. What is the visibility for a specific users? Use of negative space. So yeah, we'll be discussing like the rule in detail. So don't make the user think. I actually pasted this quote which states that I really want to clear my mind, like clear my life to make it, so that I have to make as few decisions as possible. So this is one of the code, or you can say statement, which states that by a customer or a client who says that I really want to clear my life to make it, so that I have to make as few decisions as possible. So, as I have already mentioned, try to make such designs which actually help user to use your product in best and possible way, and it actually helps the user to use your product रेगुलरली। ये नहीं कि अगर वो आपके प्रोडक्ट पे एक बार लैंड करा एंड दैट यूजर फाइंड्स इट वेरी डिफिकल्ट इन नेविगेटिंग द होल प्रोसीजर एंड ऑल, and he or she decided and gets frustrated and just drop the decision. So you have to be like really you can say particular about what things you want. And yeah, so taking example of Amazon, Flipkart and Mintra. So like three of the website, they serve the same purpose, but why I'll choose Amazon over Flipkart or why I'll choose Mintra over Flipkart, there is some reason. Maybe because of the prices, yeah, maybe because of the delivery part, yeah, maybe the navigating and the whole user experience for me is great on Amazon as compared to Flipkart or Mintra. So you have to be clear with the like things you will be providing to the user on the platform. So this is how the user can make few decisions as possible. Moving on to one of the example I have pasted, booking.com, probably you all have heard of. So you can see on this website when we land, they actually put everything on point. You can see like there is a simple search bar which states like where are you going, check in, check out, how many people are there, how many adults are there, children there, and how many rooms you want, and you just search for the same. There is no other thing which is actually included. So that is how a person can gives a good user experience to their clients or to their user. You have to be clear with the perspective of your product, ki like for which purpose you are building your product and how it will help your user in future. Now going on to, yeah, so this is a question round. So I'll be like, I want you guys to answer in the chat box just to make this session interactive. I want ki what is the attention span of a goldfish? I want to ask you this. Ki what is the attention span of a goldfish according to you? 7 seconds, 8 seconds or 9 seconds? Come on guys, I want you to answer this specific question. What is the attention span of a goldfish? 7 seconds, 8 seconds, or 9 seconds? Meanwhile, you answer, let me just drink some water. Okay, 7 seconds, 7 seconds. Okay, cool. Let me show you the answer. Ki what actually the attention span of a goldfish is. So yeah, it's 9 seconds. The attention span of a goldfish is 9 seconds, and which is probably more than a attention span of a human being. As I've already mentioned, the rule of 8 seconds. So human being or a user or any viewer, they have only 8 seconds. So in 8 seconds, you can either win the show or lose the show. So in 8 seconds, like supposingly taking example, like if you want to buy maybe shoes, so one website which came into your mind maybe like or a specific shoes, it totally depends on your budget, it totally depends on your interest. If someone has interest in Nike, so probably he will land to Nike's official website. Or if a person's budget is low, so that person choose ya to Flipkart, ya fir Mintra, ya Amazon. So you landed on that website. So in a specific of 8 seconds, you will have to search it. And if you get the result, like the probably for which you have reached on that platform, if you like get what actually you are searching for, that is voila. But if you didn't get the result in 8 seconds, obviously you will just frustrated and get dropped and you will jump onto the next website. So this is how it works for a person. It whole like it will only uh, it will that person will only have 8 seconds, for which either he will like remain on your website, or he or she will just drop off and land onto the next website. So this is how rule of 8 seconds work. So one of the example is Instagram. On Instagram we came across a reel feature which is now very much booming. So now they have also increased the time to 1 minute as well. But when this feature was launched, so you can see like in the 8 second span of time only a reel can actually get into the in area of interest for a user. Like supposingly if I love designing, or probably if I found anything satisfying, or probably I'm watching that, so maybe chances I can replay that again and again. So in the 8 second span, either it will attract my eyes, or either it will be just boring for me. So this is how rule of 8 seconds works under design. Yeah. So now how to attract attention in 8 seconds. I have actually mentioned 5 pointers while making your web designs, or while making your app design, or while making any design, how you can attract attention in just 8 seconds so that a user don't drop off or land onto the another website. So you have to use concise and catchy headlines. Headlines plays a really good role on, like on a website also. If you had a great hook line or a catchy headlines, that will obviously attract a user. Yes, the heading or the headline is very much catchy, so I should probably see what's there in this website. Then you have to explain the purpose of the project on the main screen. Like जैसे अगर मैंने if I have made a website related to food, like related to food, so the main purpose of the project क्या है मेरा? Obviously I have to sell the food to the user, intended user, like Swiggy की है, like Zomato की है, या probably if we take example of Meesho. So Meesho का intent क्या है? Like एक जो main purpose है कि दे हैव टू सेल देयर प्रोडक्ट्स, बट वो एक ई कॉमर्स है. तो यू हैव टू एक्सप्लेन द पर्पस ऑफ द प्रोजेक्ट ऑन द मेन स्क्रीन, कि व्हाट होल प्रोजेक्ट इज ऑल अबाउट. Then you can add relevant video and images. Obviously you have to do this thing, otherwise the user is not clear about what is going on. The fourth pointer is important: animate the call to action buttons. So call to action buttons are really important, whether it's whether it's any booking website. Like also you can see book my show. On book my show their intent is कि they उनकी tickets बिके. They are their intent is to sell the tickets, whether it's of movies, whether it's of concerts or anything. सो उनका मेन पर्पस है कि टिकट्स को बेचना. सो बेसिकली वी हैव टू एनिमेट द कॉल टू एक्शन बटन्स ताकि यूजर का ध्यान जाए कि बुक योर स्पॉट, बुक नाउ, बुक शो, या दीज आर द टर्म्स विच वी यूज. Then we have to add exit pop-ups as well. Like obviously after like booking a ticket or anything, like say ordering a food also, there should be exit pop-ups always. ये तो नहीं है कि I have actually booked my order or my food and there is no exit pop-up for the same. So that will result in a bad user experience. So you should definitely add this pop-up thing. So these are the 5 main things you should keep in mind to attract attention in 8 seconds. Yeah. So let's discuss about visibility of system status, which I was talking about. Whenever you see your phone as well. So in your phone as well, when you see that there is time and there is other things coming like the temperature and the icons of Wi-Fi, battery, and even lock as well. So this is the whole purpose of visibility of system status, to show the user the main thing on a screen whenever he or she on that home screen. And you can see like touch to unlock, it is actually giving a user कि when you touch that specific circle it will unlock the button or a screen. So yeah, taking example of this H&M website, you can see like on this status you can see there are categories that are clearly mentioned. So they have a great visibility of their like system, or you can say a website. Whenever you see a shoes, there are options like sort by size, color, pattern, product type, or even you can see they have buttons like women, men, kids, and even other as well. So they have a good visibility of system status, how it actually works on a desktop. So yeah, moving on to the third rule, that is use of negative space. Most of you have heard of negative space is a white space, and you can see the difference. Probably designers, they just do some you can say conjuice in providing the spaces, but you can yourself see the difference. यहाँ पे कोई space add नहीं है, ये heading है, sub heading है, it's a CTA. But when you see on the right hand side, it is probably looking very much cleaner as compared to the left hand side. So you can see by adding a small of a negative space, it is actually giving lots of you can say vibrant, and you can say it is very pleasing to eyes as well. So you can see ki adding a or a use of a little negative space can actually impart the whole thing in a very positive way. Let's move on to one of the example. So if you can see ki how Kabutar and FedEx, they have used the negative space in a positive way. If you can see, like in this logo of Kabutar, they have used the negative space to make a kabutar in this between. I hope so you can see that in the logo. And even for the FedEx also, FedEx is an I guess shipping like the courier company. So they have used this negative space to make the arrow in between E and X. So you can see how amazingly they have used the negative space in a very positive way. I hope so you can see this kabutar and this arrow, which is there in this logo. Yeah, so moving on to next part, that is design process. So design process is divided into two parts. That is first the research part and other is design part. So before starting any project, we do the research part first. Research includes all about user experience. Under research, there comes user interviews, user flows, user research, user testing, and everything. And then there is the designing part. Designing is all about the user interface, like how the interface looks in size, shape, color, and alignments and all. So design process divides into two parts, that is first research and second design. Firstly, we'll be discussing the research part. So as I mentioned, under research there comes user research. Under user research there is interviews and surveys. Like supposingly I am making any food delivery application and I want to do a user research on that. So for that, probably I can do interviews or surveys. Surveys as in I'll create a Google form stating my purpose of this project, and I can send my survey form to the intended users. Like supposingly I have to first define the age group for which I am preparing the application. Like see you agar I am preparing a food application, so probably the age should be from 18 to 45 or probably 50. So I can prepare the survey form stating some of the questions related to my project. Then second is persona. So persona is the actual you can say details of your user. Like supposingly if I made persona of Rakesh, taking example of one dummy person. So Rakesh, so I'll be mentioning in persona about his occupation, about his age, what is his purpose. Like supposingly he, like if I am making a food application, so probably he is a person who lives outside of Delhi, and he lives in hostel. So he wants, or maybe he lives in Bangalore, or probably he lives in any like say Australia, taking example. So there maybe he find difficulty in getting the Indian outlets. So so initially, like before, like persona में we actually define कि person क्या suffer कर रहा है before हमारे solution से. तो persona में we define कि so and so person lives in Australia and he has like shifted to Australia, and he's suffering from getting Indian cuisine food there. So probably our application will definitely help him. So bio में comes this, and after that comes the pain points. Pain points as in first pain point है कि there is no like Indian outlets or cuisines because he is like newly shifted, so probably he is not aware of that. Or maybe second pain point maybe is hygiene factor, or he is not getting food similar to his like homely made food. So these are some of the pain points which we can actually keep in mind while like making the persona. And after that comes the what he's expecting from our app, like from our solution. So what are the expectations of that user, and how we can fulfill that. So this is all the persona thing. I'll be showing you one of like some of the personas I built for one of my freelance project. I'll show you in the last like in the end of the session. Apart from that comes the user journey map. User journey map मतलब अगर टेक एग्जाम्पल ऑफ Amazon या फिर टेक एग्जाम्पल ऑफ Zomato, एक यूजर की जर्नी कैसे मैप करती है. लाइक पहले वो साइन इन करता है, देन अगर वो मतलब ऑलरेडी एग्जिस्टिंग यूजर है, ही लॉग इन द प्लेटफॉर्म, then he land onto the home page, and supposingly if I want to order say from Starbucks, I'll search the Starbucks, then Starbucks say I'll pick my favorite coffee and then add to cart, and then add to cart के बाद checkout thing and paying and all. So this is all the journey of a user, uh, which is there while like purchasing anything from an application or a website. Wireframing is the before step of your final product, like wireframe as in the rough sketches of your design. Whether you are preparing a website or an application, it's a rough sketch of your final product. So these are the pointers which come under research. Now comes the design. So under designing also there are high fidelity wireframes. High fidelity wireframes I'll be showing you कि एक्चुअली में कैसे होते हैं. आई हैव अटैच्ड टू ऑफ माय इनिशियल प्रोजेक्ट्स, एंड हाई फिडेलिटी आर द वंस जो मतलब एक्चुअली में द फाइनल प्रोडक्ट जैसे दिखेंगे. देन डिजाइन में कम्स कलर, फॉन्ट एंड स्टाइल सिलेक्शन. लाइक से टाइपोग्राफी क्या होनी चाहिए, साइज क्या होना चाहिए, कलर क्या होना चाहिए, प्रॉपर स्टाइल गाइड. उसमें आइकन कौन कौन से यूज हुए हैं, प्लस बटन, प्राइमरी बटन कौन सा है, सेकेंडरी बटन कौन सा है. जैसे कि यू कैन से जोमेटो में व्हेन ऐड टू कार्ट है, या देयर आर अदर बटन्स आल्सो, सो वो उनका प्राइमरी बटन है. तो आइकन्स कौन कौन से यूज हुए हैं, होम आइकॉन, कार्ट आइकॉन, हैमबर्गर आइकॉन. सो ये like everything comes under the style guide. Then comes the design the screens. Like design screens होती हैं, like we have to design the screens according to the requirement of the project. So for that you can actually take inspirations from websites like Behance, Dribble, or probably there are websites like Pinterest. So you can actually find lots and lots of inspiration from these platforms. Even free pick also, you can like find too many inspiration. Then comes the prototyping. So prototyping is like taking example of Zomato again. So when you click login button, so there is an option like login with Google, login with Facebook. Then when you click on login with Google, it will actually give you options of your Gmail accounts. So वो चीज़ है, like when we click one button, वो आपको next क्या दिखा रहा है, like on which you are landing on after you're clicking a specific button. So prototyping may we actually do a specific wiring, like the animation part. Like if I click on that button, where I will land, if I click the shopping cart, what it will show, or if I click the, you can say, checkout button, what option it will show. So this is all it includes that part. So tools we use mainly for designing is like these tools are for inspiration, I told you. This one is Dribble, this one is Behance, and other I have mentioned Pinterest, Freepik. Also, for designing the screens, you can use XD or you can use Figma. Figma is a really good tool to use in. Or if you are a Mac user or if you have a MacBook, you can definitely go with Sketch. Sketch is father of XD and Figma. But yeah, but if you are a Windows user, you can definitely use Figma. Figma has daily good plugins to use in, and it is very handy and user friendly as well. Yeah, as I mentioned, XD, Figma, and Sketch, these are all UI design tool on which you actually design a specific interface for a project. Yeah, so moving on to UI principles, UI as in user interface. So while designing a user interface for a specific project, what principle you have to keep in mind? First is proximity. Proximity as in key, you have to you have an idea of a space, or you can see key there should be not the project or the intended screen is not going out of the proximity. So you have to define a specific size for that, like whether you are designing for iOS or whether you are designing for Android screen. So you have to keep that in mind, or even there are options like Google Pixel or other mobile phones as well. Second is hierarchy. So hierarchy is one of the top most principle which we use. So under hierarchy comes like whether it's a visual hierarchy or whether it's a sequence. Sequence as in key. If you consider Amazon website. So there comes first the banners, or firstly there is the navigation bar like logo and navigation. Then comes the banners. Then comes the categories, and then other things. And uske baad last mein there comes the footer. So it's a proper order that is being followed while designing the website. So that is the hierarchy, and visual hierarchy is related to the visuals. Visuals as in ki if you design Amazon, so we know Amazon uses colors like blue, white. So there is a reason why they have used colors like blue and white, because blue and white colors, they actually resonates with trust factor. They actually resonate with you can say calmness and all, and peace factor. And that's why they have used such so and so colors. So there is a psychology behind every color, whether it's black, whether it's white, orange, blue, red, every color. So why Zomato and Swiggy they have used orange and red color? Because it actually drives with hunger, or and you can say excitement for the starving thing. So that's why they have used colors like red and orange. So yeah. Third is the balance. So you have to maintain the balance of the sections and the content basically. You don't have to overload the content or overload the visuals on your designs which you are building in. Keep that in mind. Fourth one is alignment. So probably alignment is like whenever you are building a website, it should be centered. So in Figma, if you haven't used the Figma yet, but yeah, just telling you while you are making the web design, so just follow the grid system and make the design centrally aligned, not like anywhere. So when you use the column grid, like 12 column grid basically we use for web designs, and it actually aligned the specific website in center, and rest is the margin and the gutter. So probably this is another thing to be learn about. But yeah, white space and negative space we have already discussed. Repetition as in key, obviously you are just a beginner or you are just starting, so you cannot spend lots and lots of time in designing each and every element. But what I use is like supposingly if my box is similar, like say repeat or a grid. Even you can see on Amazon also the categories part is the same. So what we actually do is कि हम एक को अच्छे से बनाकर we can use control plus D to duplicate the specific sections. तो it's actually save our time also, and design भी बहुत जल्दी बन जाता है. Then seventh is contrast. So contrast as in कि if you are you have to keep in mind कि जो user है, user is more over towards the light background or black background. So probably there are users who use only dark mode. Yeah, there are users only who use light mode. And even contrast का आपको मतलब हर एक डेस्कटॉप पे या हर एक डिजाइन के हिसाब से you have to keep in mind the contrast thing. Then emphasize. So emphasize as in कि you have to emphasize more on the CTA part or more on the headlines or more on the purpose of the project. जो आपका purpose है actually user को देने का. So you have to emphasize on important points. Yeah, so moving on to the end part of this session, that is the future of UX and UI. So probably there are some people who may ask ki there are so many no code website builders or there are so many other things as well. So what will be the future of UX and UI? So probably whether they are AI, whether it's other platforms, but a human touch will be an human touch. So if I am good at something, that will not be replaced by any artificial intelligence or so. But yeah, so like other industries, the future of UX and UI is also depends on external factors like economy, users' life, technologies, and trends. So first one is the AI revolution, as I mentioned. So there are tools that can convert paper wireframes to complete UI design. So these tools actually make your life easy, but don't totally depend on these tools probably. But yeah, so if you make your rough wireframes on paper, so it can completely change onto the high fidelity wireframes by just one click, and also helps you to ease the design process. So the name of that website is UI's Art. You can explore this website and you can see. But yeah, a true designer, or you can say a person who is totally into designing, will definitely do everything by his or her own. But definitely you can use such tools at the time of emergency. Next one is the no code trends. No code trends are so much going on nowadays. We are also using website builders like Wix, Webflow, or you can say there are other website builders like WordPress also. So yeah, but there are no code trends going into UX and UI field also. That is bunch of tools that can convert designs to code or some real app or website. So the tool name is like the tool name is Bravo Studio. You can explore such tools and can be aware of them. But yeah, as I mentioned, in the case of emergency, you can definitely try that. So the third one is the new generation, basically the new gen. So the brighter designers are there because of tons of courses and mentors which don't exist 10 years ago. So आजकल like the new generation is basically कि the upcoming designers who are coming in maybe probably 2023 or 2022 may, so they are probably they have like so many knowledge because अब की time पे there are tons of courses and tons of free courses available and even mentors also. If you want to go into designing background, or you can say designing field, you can use ADP list. So ADP list is basically used for uh, you can say you can find mentors there and you can book your sessions as well, and they can help you to start your journey also. But yeah, yeah, so this is one of my earliest like the initial project I built. So you can see this is the high fidelity wireframe, like the how it actually looks on your phone when it is when the application is launched and the application is on Play Store. So this is how it will look. It was related to some food brand, and you can see when I click to log in, it will give me options like this, and if I order something, it will give me options like this, and it will show the map and all, similar to the Zomato thing. If you order something from Zomato, so it will give you functions like this. Another one I built was some e-commerce. Like on this, you can find electronic appliances. Basically, you can find mobile phones, laptop, refrigerator. So for designing an application, you can actually work on any problem statement. These were my very initial designs I built, and you can actually pick any problem. You can even redesign specific web design, or you can actually think to improve, like say on WhatsApp. You can redesign the concept of a WhatsApp, you can redesign the concept of Instagram, Snapchat, or even you can come with some new concept related to the problems that are going on. There are so many things. You just have to catch the user intent and the user problem, and then you just have to build a solution for that. Yeah, so that's all from my side, and now we are open for the Q&A session. So probably I have actually covered everything in 40 to 45 minutes, and now it's time to have some questions from your side. And yeah, before that, I really want to thank you for attending this session, and I really appreciate it. Ki you guys thought to start your design journey soon, and probably if you need any help, or you can say ki if you want to start your journey into designing, you can definitely reach out to me on this like platforms I mentioned. Also, I'll be attaching the link in the comment box. That is a Linktree link, and you can actually reach out to me on the respective Instagram and channel. Also, I have like started with making the videos on like keeping the beginner designer in mind, and probably providing them a complete roadmap or a road thing for them to start their journey. So yeah, that's it from my side, and I guess now I'm open to take some questions from your side. And yeah guys, I guess let's just have some questions, and I'll just paste the link tree copy. I just paste the link tree link, and you guys can reach out to me for the same. Yeah, I'll just ask the team to paste that in the chat box so that you guys can found it. Yeah, perfect. I guess you got the link. And if you want to reach out to me on Instagram, I have attached every link in this link tree, and you can definitely reach out to me. I actually have sessions with industry experts every week, like every week. So probably it will help you to start your journey as well. And apart from this, you can reach out to me directly for anything. Um yeah, because under designly we are actually expanding that thing and helping the beginner designer who really want to, or who passionately want to succeed in design. I guess we have a question: as a designer, how do you do a user research? What tools can be used for the same? Okay, so as a freelancer, I do user research. Like, firstly, I start with the mood board thing. Like, supposingly, firstly, I had a meeting with my client, and like get an idea what is the intent of the project, and then I can start with the user research. So I use Figma only. I use I use Figma while make like for making the mood board and then other things. For user flow, I use Miro. Miro is a like application which you can use to create user flow IA, or you can say user journey maps, and there are other things also mainly for the user flow. Or uh, or you can use flow map. Flow map is also another software, and probably these are paid versions, but for I guess 2 to 3 rounds it's free. But definitely Figma is free, so you can pick some templates of user research, or you can say user flow from Figma community, and this is how it works. Yeah. So any more questions from your side, guys, you can definitely let me know, so that it is very like it would be easy for me and you to get clear on some things. And yeah, or if you are like shy or hesitating for not asking in this live chat, you probably can reach out to me personally on any of the platform I have mentioned, so we can have a chit chat personally. Thank you, Sahil. I'm glad you found it really helpful. And yeah, sure, I can provide the PPT. I can send it to the KCECell team, and they can give you that. Okay, great question, Sumedh. So, web designing is very much booming. So, one of the like YouTube channel I would really like request you to go and check it out. That's Flux Academy. Flux Academy is one of the great you can say channel. It actually includes everything about web design and top websites for web design. I use Figma only. I use Figma for designing my app design, for web design or everything. But the Flux Academy is the gem for web designing. And even nowadays, Webflow is booming. So if you want to learn Webflow, definitely check that out, Flux Academy. Okay, so Karthik was saying ki it was a great session. Thank you for all the information, a great initiative, and looking for more session. Thank you, Karthik, for joining. I'm glad you found it insightful. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Saili. Thank you, Articraft. Thank you, everyone, for joining this session. And even I also had a great fun with you and explaining the basic concepts about UX and UI design. So, thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Yeah, thank you so much, team. And you guys can reach out to me. And yeah, that's all from my side.
Thank you, Srishti. It was a great and informative session, and as we have done with the Q&A session as well. So now I hereby conclude that we have come to the end of this wonderful session, and I would like to thank our today's speaker, Mr. Stimago, for giving her valuable insight on UI and UX. Also, thanks to our faculty coordinator, ECell team, and all others who have joined and made it a success. And guys, before leaving this session, we have shared a feedback link, so please do fill it. Also, guys, you can join our Discord server to get the updates to our further session. We hope you can grab many learning resources from ECell Discord server. Also, you can follow us on Instagram as well as our speakers Instagram. So, wish you all a great evening ahead and a safe and happy weekend. Thank you.